Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. We're here today to do a Once Upon a Book Club unboxing and reading vlog. I've been using this company for a while now, and that actually means that down in my description there's a link to go get one of these boxes for yourself, and I also have a coupon code that will get you $5 off that first box. So if you are feeling like trying them out, please do that because it saves you a little bit of money and then I get a little bit of credit so that I can get more boxes in the future. However, if it's not in your budget, I totally understand. You can just live vicariously through me and the box that they just sent me because it is beautiful. Full disclosure, I did already open this up, but I haven't opened everything and you'll see why in just a moment. Now this special edition box actually came in this quite hefty box because they needed all the extra space because some of the gifts are quite large. However, I'll show you what this box usually comes in. This is a monthly subscription box, although you don't have to get every month. You can get whichever months actually call to you, and I'll show you what the boxes look like. When you get their young adult selection, you typically get it in this package. And when you get your adult selection, you typically get it in this package. There are definitely some exceptions to that because sometimes they do special boxes. For example, I believe coming up they have a Christmas advent calendar style box. They also have a Bridgerton box, and the one that I'm really excited for is typically for Halloween they will have a trick or a treat box, so either a spooky or a spoopy-ish book. And I definitely got the horror book, and I'm definitely looking forward to that box arriving. However, that's not the box we're unboxing today. Today is the Echoes of the Past box. And what really got me excited about this is the first time they've done a special edition of the book itself. So let me show that to you so you know what I'm going to be reading today. Also, I'm really sorry if you hear weird noises in the background. We are doing laundry and I can't escape it. The selection for the Echoes to the Past box is The Many Daughters of A Fong Moy by Jamie Ford. Now, firstly, this dust jacket is beautiful. It is very plain on the back, all of that, but then you see that the edges are just covered in this beautiful calligraphy all the way around, which is gorgeous. In addition to that, I love good end papers. Oh my goodness, these are stunning. You also get a digital signature from the author. And then, let's look at it naked. We have these beautiful gold details all the way around, which are just so pretty. I don't usually bother taking the dust jacket off, but I think I might for this reading experience because this is gorgeous. I knew basically nothing about this book when I decided to say yes to this opportunity to receive the book and unbox it for you, so I'm going to read you the synopsis now. Dorothy Moy breaks her own heart for a living. As Washington's former poet laureate, that's how she describes channeling her dissociative episodes and mental health struggles into her art. But when her 5-year-old daughter exhibits similar behavior and begins remembering things from lives of their ancestors, Dorothy believes the past has truly come to haunt her. Okay, that's all I'm going to read because that sounds amazing. I'm really hoping that the mental health rep in this is done very, very well because that's something that I want to see reflected accurately in literature. I'm not necessarily going to be able to be the person who can tell if it is the best rep, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to look that up after the fact, but I'm already really into this because mental health is a very important issue, so I'd like to see it represented. So just looking at the biography of the author, and it made me snort laugh, so I'm going to read some of it to you. Jamie Ford is the great-grandson of Nevada mining pioneer Ming Chung, who immigrated from China to San Francisco in 1865, where he adopted the Western name Ford, thus confusing countless generations. That's not the part that made me laugh, though. The part that made me laugh is at the bottom where it says, his work has been translated into 34 languages. Jamie is still holding out for Klingon. That's when you know you've made it. I love a nerd. It also looks like his debut novel spent 2 years on the New York Times bestseller list and went on to win the 2010 Asian Pacific American Award for Literature, so I'm expecting big things from this book. Also, I know I didn't read the whole synopsis, but I don't like to know too much of the synopsis, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Now, earlier I showed you this giant box, and I haven't showed you anything else that's in it, so let's go through that, except for I can only show you very specific things, and you'll know why in a second. Firstly, every book they send you comes with a book club kit, so it comes with an art print, and it comes with a bookmark, but then it also comes with a book club kit, so if you were doing this as a book club, it actually has like book club type questions, like, what do you think this meant in the book, and that type of thing, and then sometimes it also comes with things like recipes, so that's going to be really interesting to open. But then as you're going along and you're actually reading the book, and I'll find you an example of one, you will come across these post-it notes throughout the book that tell you to open your gift. So when you come across one of those, you gotta go back to the box and you gotta open up whichever gift corresponds with that page number. For example, for that page, I'll be opening this little box. On page 37, I'll be opening this box, which I imagine is the whole reason they needed to use a completely different box, because this is quite large on its own. On 261, it looks like I have an art poster of some persuasion to open, and on 291, I have whatever's in this box. So this is pretty much my plan for the day. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna start reading. Once I need to take a reading break, I actually am going to make apple crisp or apple crumble, whichever one it is when you use oats. That's the one I make, and I can never remember if it's crisp or crumble, and some people care about the distinction, and I don't. I'll update you as things happen in the book. I'm not going to give you spoilers as to what's happening. I'm not going to tell you the end. This is not that kind of reading vlog, but I'll definitely update you anytime I get to open one of the gifts. Next time you see me, I'm going to be very comfy in reading. I'm not even into the story yet. I'm in the author's note and it's already fascinating, so I'm gonna let you know some about it. Some of this book and some of the understanding that came before writing this book was from looking up transcendental epigenetic inheritance, which is a string of very long words. But now I'm super interested in like looking that up after I read the book. But he's starting out talking about how his first concert when he was a kid was Van Halen, and then his 12-year-old son is like, have you ever heard of this band named Van Halen? They're the best ever. And it made him start thinking about like if there's something in their genes to make it so that they both enjoy the same kind of jam. And then there's also apparently this case of identical twins who in 1940 were separated at birth, and then their lives were startlingly similar. Let me just read you this paragraph. In 1940, they were separated at birth and put up for adoption, each finding new homes 3 weeks later. It would be nearly 4 decades before the brothers crossed paths and discovered some startling similarities. Both had a dog named Toy. Both enjoyed woodworking. Both married women named Linda, divorced, and then married women named Betty. Both had sons named James Allen and James Allen with a slightly different spelling. Both were plagued with migraines, both worked in law enforcement, both vacationed in the same Florida beach, and the list goes on. I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to look up the Jim twins after this too. So far I'm 2 pages in, not even in the actual book, and so many things to look up because it's fascinating. I had to come back. Also in this author's note, I find out that this is historical fiction, sort of. Just from looking at that family tree, I think this might be based in the future, but the history behind what is being written is in 1838, the first Chinese woman ever came to America, and she was somewhat of a sideshow act. She was very famous and popular, and then her life involved P.T. Barnum, which is just a terrible time for everyone. So in the 1850s, she kind of dropped out of public knowledge, and then there's speculation as to how her life ended. So all that seems interesting. Again, I'm going to have to look that up, and now I'm going to have to figure out what this book is. I'm already so into it, and I haven't even started reading it. Hello, our first reminder to open a gift comes at the end of the first chapter. So I'll tell you a little bit about the first chapter and then we'll open the box together. This chapter takes place in 1942, and Faye is an army nurse. They are stationed somewhere in China. Some things are going on, basically. I don't want to ruin the whole setup for you, but she, weirdly enough, had to sign a contract saying that she would never get married so she could be a nurse, which, gross, what the hell. And I believe she's also in her late 40s or early 50s, and she's just come across this very intriguing mystery, and now we're meant to open a box, so let's see what's in it. Ooh. From what I just read and just kind of the shape of this, I assume it's going to be something like a pocket watch, but let me put down the camera and actually open it up and I'll show you. Firstly, can we just be excited about how the inside of the box matches the edges of the book? Secondly, it is a fake pocket watch, just based on what I just read, that makes sense. And then as you open it up, there are some mysteries inside that have to do with what's happening in the book. I'm gonna look at those and decide if they're spoilery or not, and then show you if they're not. Actually, just the same two photos, so I think that they put in two instead of one because this is what she just found in his watch with "Find Me" on the back of it, which is just super intriguing. I'm going to keep reading and I'll come back to around page 37 because that's the next box. Also, the second chapter is from the perspective of Dorothy and she's in 2045, which is why I thought some of this might take place in the future based on the family tree from the beginning of the book. We've made it to another point where I need to open something, and based on what's on the page I can take a guess as to what it is. But before we get to that, I want to talk about Dorothy's chapter. That was the chapter in 2045. Her husband is the worst. He is actually the worst. He got together with her because of some prestige in being with the poet laureate of town, and she's wealthy because of reasons that we don't really know about on the page, but she has some mental health issues and he constantly treats her like crap about it, and I hate him so much, so there's that. Anyway, let's go into opening whatever this is. I think I know, but we'll find out. Oh, these are gorgeous, and we'll definitely get some use in our house because we often don't get the reusable chopsticks from a sushi place because I forget to give them to us. These are gorgeous. I should also mention that at this point in the book, we've met Afeng, and she is traveling in New York, and it's disgusting how people will just be like, no, this is America, we can make up whatever lies about your culture, and that's what we're going to tell people, and that's what's going to be the truth. And she's like, but no, that's not why we bind our feet, it's because of this thing. And yeah, so Americans, you're gross. Western people, you're gross, generally. Chapter 7, I'm about to meet a new character from the 1920s, but I also wanted to point out there is another surprise in the book. Essentially, I imagine if you scan this QR code, you are going to get a link to this song on violin. However, my phone doesn't scan QR codes, so when I see Chad again, I think he's outside reading, I will ask him to do it for me. Good morning. It's a completely different day. I took yesterday off from this project because I needed to do my weekly wrap-up and I had other things to do, like catch up on Drag Race. But before that happened, I got 168 pages through this, so approximately halfway through, and I'm hoping to read the rest today. But first, coffee. This gift of a poster of the poem Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe makes a lot of sense based on what's happening in the book. Also, I feel so badly for all of these protagonists. It seems weird to say protagonists, but we're following different women of the same family line in all of these different things, and so many times I just want to reach out and hug them and get the people that are terrible towards them to just go away. Dorothy noticed the graphic on the mug, an armadillo sitting in a lotus position like a Buddha. Beneath the artwork was the word Karmadillo. I had guessed from the size and shape and weight of the box that it might be a cup, but I didn't expect it to be a cup that directly parodied something from the book. Like, that's cool. I finished the book and that was lovely. No spoilers, I told you I wasn't going to give you spoilers in this, but oh my goodness, I have so many things to think about now and so many things to look up, and this was just fascinating the way it was written, so I highly, highly suggest it. Thank you so much to Once Upon a Book Box for sending me this box for review. I very much enjoyed not only the book itself, but the items that came with it were also pretty solid. If you would like to try them out for yourself, remember that I have a coupon code down below. It's just my last name, Trithart. Have fun spelling it, that's why it's down below. And that will get you $5 off your first box. What's the most interesting book you've read recently? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!